Straight ahead on CCX News, a Brooklyn Park company expected to grow after being purchased by the automaker Tesla. Plus, School Spotlight takes us to a Crystal school that embraces its diversity. But first, Election Day 2017. The focus is on local city and school elections. CCX News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Voters are going to the polls in local city and school elections Tuesday.
Golden Valley voters are selecting 2 city council members. In all, there are 5 candidates in the running. Those in the race include incumbent Larry Faunist, who won in 2013. John Giese and Jillian Rosenquist have both served on city commissions, and both have also run previously for council. Andy Schuler has also run before. Jim Ryan is a former federal worker who recently retired. Eric Nelson has more.
I was a little disappointed that it was difficult to find a great deal of information about these candidates, but I did my best to get educated.
It's been a low-key election year in Golden Valley. 5 candidates ran for 2 city council positions without much fanfare.
Larry Faunist, as far as I know, he's the only one who was actively campaigning, putting out yard signs, etc.
City voting may not garner the attention that national or state elections do.
So my vote really counts.
Yes. But on a grassroots level,
normally it's first thing in the morning.
This is equally as important.
This is the people that are running our city, our council members.
Those are really the people who are making decisions that influence all of our government at the higher levels. So I think it's hugely important to vote.
What a difference a year makes. In the 2016 presidential election, the turnout was over 80% here at Precinct 6. Today, it'll be somewhere between 20 and 25%.
You may take this receipt and get your ballot at the next table.
There was no wait to punch a ballot today. Things were quick and seamless. Hennepin County now uses electronic poll books, which speeds up the process as iPads are used to check in voters.
It works very quickly, very accurately. The addresses are for each precinct are in each polling location.
Of course, some residents skipped that process entirely and voted absentee.
We had approximately 180 people come in.
Whatever your voting mode is, the key is just vote.
I vote in every election. I wouldn't miss it.
In Golden Valley, I'm Eric Nelson, CCX News.
And as far as schools go, a total of 19 metro area school districts are asking voters for additional funds, and they've been working on these plans for months.
Reporter Sonia Goins has a review of what voters in the Northwest Metro are deciding when it comes to schools dealing with growing student populations.
Voters in the Anoka-Hennepin district are being asked to approve the largest levy in district history, almost $250 million. Some of that money would be used to improve middle schools and high schools, including Champlin Park, where portable classrooms are in place.
Our schools are 49, they average 49 years old. Champlin Park High School just had its 25th anniversary. That's one of our newer schools. So there's a lot of need for upgrading the schools.
Voters in Brooklyn Center have not approved an operating levy increase in more than 15 years. The district is asking voters for $29 million. Those funds will be used to provide construction money for classroom space and other improvements.
We're hoping and have confidence in our voters.
In District 284, voters are being asked to give the thumbs up on questions that center around the fast-growing population in the YZZY school district. Officials want about $70 million in bond funding. $30.2 million of that money will be used to build a new elementary school.
Our projected timeline for hopefully being able to open that would be the fall of 2019. And then we would be doing some other work around the school district as well to accommodate growth at our middle school levels.
There are 3 questions on the ballot here in the Hopkins School District. One referendum asked voters to approve $30 million for building repairs and renovations. Meanwhile, one expert says if districts don't get the money they need, budgets will have to be reconsidered.
So if these referendums are not successful, then school districts will have to go back, and many of them will have to make budget reductions because they really need this revenue to meet the needs of their students.
Sonia Goins, CCX News.
And you can follow the returns as they come in on CCX News. We will scroll election returns along the bottom of the screen Tuesday evening. That starts after the polls close, of course, at 8 p.m.
In other news, the electric car company Tesla is buying a Brooklyn Park company that makes automated factory equipment. Perbix recently moved to the Highway 610 corridor from Golden Valley. Perbix has supplied custom machinery to Tesla for 3 years. In a statement, Tesla said Perbix will stay where it is and Tesla will be expanding its presence and recruiting efforts in the Twin Cities. Right now, Perbix has a staff of about 150 people. The company started as a maker of machining equipment in 1976 and has changed the focus to create custom parts for factory automation. Tesla cited the large pool of highly skilled engineering talent in the Twin Cities. A Bloomington-based fragrance company is interested in building a corporate headquarters in Maple Grove.
This news came at Monday night's Maple Grove City Council meeting as the council discussed approving the Arbor Lakes Business Park concept plan. Illume makes high-end fragrances and candles for sale in stores like Williams-Sonoma, Anthropologie, and Whole Foods. They're interested in occupying the first office warehouse building proposed for the Arbor Lakes Business Park as their corporate headquarters. There are 4 buildings proposed, each with more than 200,000 square feet, and they'd be located near Costco. The City Council approved the concept plan for the business park, but more detailed plans must first be approved before the developer gets the green light.
I've been on the council and planning commission for about 15 years combined, and we've been talking for a long time about bringing some corporate headquarters to the gravel mining area. So it's exciting to see that we have some interest finally in doing that.
The Maple Grove Planning Commission expressed concerns about the size of the buildings. So far, the developer added more landscaping and detail to the buildings facing Elm Creek Boulevard.
Well, there is already a waiting list for a new affordable apartment complex approved in Maple Grove. The City Council okayed plans for the next phase of the Bottineau Ridge apartment complex. It will be a 50-unit apartment building targeting families at or below 60% of the area's median income. It's much like the first 50 apartments already on the site just off Hemlock and 80th Avenue in Maple Grove. The next phase would be an additional 50 apartments. That's planned in the near future. Still ahead on CCX News, we shine our school spotlight on a Robbinsdale area school in Crystal where creativity and diversity flourish.
Plus, Champlin Park is ready to aim for a title at this week's state high school volleyball tournament.
But first, don't put away your sweaters yet. The coldest day of the week is still ahead. The AccuWeather forecast is coming up next. Neill Elementary School serves a diverse group of students from Crystal and Golden Valley.
The District 281 school embraces diversity and creates a unique learning environment. Reporter Shannon Slatton tells us more in today's School Spotlight.
Each new school day holds purpose and promise at Neill Elementary School in Crystal. From the time students step off the bus and walk down the halls, there's no limit.
Days of the week. Days of the week.
To what they can learn and discover. We'll begin with the youngest students at the school in the new voluntary pre-K program.
There's Thursday and there's Friday and then there's Saturday.
Robbinsdale area schools receive state funding to expand free pre-K. In the first year, the 2 sections at Neill Elementary are full.
It gives them the foundational skills, it gets them ready for full-day kindergarten, it gets them working on the social skills, how to be a student at school.
But now you're a little older, kind of a big girl.
In kindergarten, students are still learning those social skills.
Gabriel, how about you?
There's pride here in teachers and paraprofessionals being difference makers.
Whatever they ask me to do in the classroom, or whatever kids ask me to work with, that's what I will do.
NFL Hall of Famer Randall McDaniel is one of those difference makers. He has been involved with Robbinsdale schools since 1994.
The reason I do this is because I had a difference maker in my life. Mr. Fulton came and made that difference for me when I was a young man. in school, and so I realized I should be able to do that, pay it forward, and do the same thing for other kids along the way. Here at Neill, this is where I'm going to be until they get tired of seeing this face around.
Teachers use creativity to motivate children to learn in older grades too, always with the goal of teaching state standards.
How we enrich it for those kids that understand it right away, and how we support it for those kids that need additional support.
Teaching methods must be far from a one-size-fits-all approach for this very diverse population. There's more than 500 students at Neill Elementary, and there are 24 languages other than English spoken here.
When you talk about each child, you're talking about their ethnicity, you're talking about their cultural background, you're talking about their socioeconomic status in terms of what kind of experiences that they may or may not have had.
Principal Markworth says the school embraces that diversity.
How do we get along? How do they celebrate each other? I believe that we truly have a full wraparound service here for all of our kids at Neill.
Go back. Perhaps you can see that best here in music class as fifth graders work on singing a song about Ghana.
Our goal is to help each kid draw out their creativity that's already in there. And we do that by playing instruments and singing.
They finish up the class by strumming ukuleles. It's another way staff members keep the school day at Neill Elementary interesting, challenging, and undeniably unique.
When they come to school, they're excited to be at school. They have a fantastic experience during the school day, and when they go home, that they want to come back every day. That is our primary goal for Neill.
In Crystal, Shannon Slatton, CCX News.
Principal Markworth also tells us they have strong connections with community organizations that help provide winter gear, food packs, and needed items to the school.
Very nice,
Right.
very refreshing to see a football star like
Yes.
Randall McDaniel there. And he's been there for years.
He's been for years. I
helping
was
out.
thinking, I met him at Neill about 12 years ago, so day in, day out,
Doing
he's there.
important work,
That's
yes.
right. Coming up later, how a local effort is putting warm coats on a lot of kids.
But first, the Champlin Park volleyball team is set for a return visit to the state tournament. John Jacobson has that story coming up next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. It's state tournament week in volleyball. As Jay Wilcox reports, St. Paul has become a familiar destination for the Champlin Park Rebels.
It is the fourth straight visit to the state tournament for Champlin Park, but they don't take it for granted. They almost didn't make it this time, getting pushed to the limit in a wild 5-set battle against St. Michael Albertville in the Section 5 final.
It was definitely crazy. It was really close. They were a really good team. We played really hard, and there's a lot of energy in the gym. It was just a really fun game.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely put up a really tough fight, and we knew they were going to come out strong, so I'm really proud of the way that we fought back.
Those are the kind of matches you're probably going to see at the state tournament kind of thing, so to be able to have that in a section final and come out on the right end of it, we've been very fortunate the last couple years to do that, and it's helped us in the past to kind of know these close ones. We can just stick with what we're doing and keep battling and see what happens.
Champlin Park was seeded third for the state Class 3A tournament, and they'll meet Moorhead in the quarterfinal round.
We know they're usually a very good team. They've been to state before. They've been good for a lot of years, so we know it'll be a good match.
Maybe they didn't get seeded number one in their section. Their section does just straight QRF, so I think some of their losses against some of the more metro schools may have caused them QRF, but and behind the scenes that makes them a tougher team. They played the tougher schedule and kind of things like that, so they're there for a reason, so it's going to be a battle.
Of course, how you play on the court is what really matters at state. But there's no doubt that knowing the tourney routine and being familiar with the large arena surroundings can be a benefit.
I think everybody's kind of feeling that way, a little less butterflies, so I think that's a little bit of an advantage, but at the same time, it's going to be a great time. It's a great experience, and we're really excited for it.
You understand the routine a little bit more. You're not so worried about the timing of things, meaning you understand the timing of things, and when you first go the first couple times, you're not sure, oh, we got to get there early, or we got to get there, we don't want to be there too early, but when do we go, and when do we leave, and when do we stay? But it just helps. The more times you do it, the more comfortable you are with things.
The Rebels are gearing up for what they hope is a productive tournament run. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
The Rebels take on Moorhead in the quarterfinals Thursday morning at 11 o'clock at the XL Center. The semifinals are Friday and the championship Saturday. We'll hear from the other local team in the state tournament, Hopkins, Wednesday at 4 o'clock here on CCX. Emma Schmidt of Champlin Park is one of the players locally named to the Star Tribune's All-Metro team. While no local players made the All-Metro first team, Schmidt, wearing number 3 here, is on the second team. The setter and hitter leads the Rebels with 432 kills. Hopkins' Anna Erickson is also on the second team. Number 9 Erickson has been the main offensive weapon for the Royals this year. She has 445 kills for Hopkins. The Star Tribune's third team includes Armstrong's Lauren Clark, Maisie Jackson of Benilde St. Margaret's, Izzy Ashburn of Champlin Park, and Tara Lee of Hopkins. The state tournament for high school bowling is next month in Arden Hills. Several local schools feature bowling as an activity or club sport. On this week's Sports Jam show on CCX, we visited the Northwest Metro Conference.
I have met a lot of great people through the sport, not just in the schools that we compete in regularly, but all across the state, from anywhere from Faribault to Duluth to Fergus Falls. I have friends all over the state that compete just through bowling.
The Northwest Metro Conference is home to 6 teams this year, including Osseo. Senior Rebecca Kelso has bowled on the Orioles team since 8th grade and enjoys the camaraderie and competition associated with the sport, this league in particular.
It's been lots of fun getting to know people, and just everyone gets along really well. It's like we're like one big family, kind of, you know. There's always lots of sportsmanship from different teams and your own team when you play against people.
All of our coaches are very like-minded in how we address dealing with the kids and how we coach, and the sportsmanship and leadership aspects of the game, and it goes on court and off court, so to speak.
You can see the rest of that story, plus the week's top prep highlights this week on Sports Jam. It airs through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. here on CCX or online at ccxmedia.org. That is all for today. Alex and Mike, back to you.
All right, John, thanks a lot. Still ahead, the turnout that shows the importance of a warm gift.
We will be right back. Finally, more than 600 children have new coats to keep them warm thanks to a Plymouth woman and her friend.
Danielle Igbonago and Valerie Gilbert started the Coated in Love project 7 years ago. Each year they pick a charity, and this year they chose Oak Park Community Center in North Minneapolis. Even before doors opened this past weekend, families lined up around the block. The children also have received hats, gloves, and socks. And there's still a chance to donate a new or gently used coat. New Reflection salons in Plymouth, Maple Grove, and Ridgedale are collecting coats all year round. Good job, guys.
Yeah.
That's it for now. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Wednesday, starting at 4 o'clock.